Round 2 of the NHL playoffs has hit its peak, and it's hard to make sense of a lot of things right now. One of the most hated teams in the league has been led to another conference final by a polarizing superstar proving everyone wrong. The other series has taken crackhead hockey to another level. We got crazy momentum swings, guys losing their cool, and everything in between that has set up one of the biggest games of the season. The NHL playoffs are out of control, so let's break down what happened in part 5 of our round 2 recap. Let's start off with Vegas versus Anaheim. Game 6 is in Anaheim. It's do or die for the Ducks, who lost Game 5 in OT. Now, the biggest story in this series and partially throughout these playoffs is Mitch Marner. The noted playoff wizard Mitch, who became public enemy number 1 in Toronto for his playoff performances, has come to Vegas and shown so far not only can he produce, but he can be one of the best players in the league, leading the entire postseason in scoring. We talked about this a lot on the channel and a bit of these playoffs, but Marner is a cerebral player first. His best asset is anticipation. Now he thinks the game, and we see it firsthand in every type of situation for Game 6. First is even strength right at the beginning of the game. The Ducks are going to pounce on a turnover here at the Vegas blue line, and sensing an opportunity to jump here is the Ducks left defenseman in Jackson Lacombe. Now, this is the Ducks' MO as well. They like their D to get active. It's in the game notes for Vegas, so they're prepared for it. But as he jumps, the Vegas D does a good job of closing off that lane, which forces the puck carrier in Anaheim to have to rim this puck around the boards to avoid a turnover. So now Lacombe, who's a D, is technically the furthest in the zone. Now Mitch Marner, who's completely off screen at this point as the right winger, is going to make a heads-up play recognizing that Lacombe is deep in the zone, so he's going to hang high knowing that he's all alone if Vegas can win this puck down low. So even though Lacombe starts to retreat back, this breakout from Vegas is perfect. Facing pressure, they do a little slip pass to center support, and William Karlsson, head on a swivel, knowing Marner has taken off, sends a beauty of a pass right onto his stick. Now Marner has Lacombe on his right hip and peak the puck protection. He's going to shift to his backhand to avoid the stick lifts, gets his hips in between the puck and Lacombe. Dostal reads it all the way too. He's got that backhand shot covered. Nope, think again, pal. He goes between the legs, and are you kidding me? That might legitimately be one of the nicest playoff goals ever scored, and Leaf fans are sick to their stomach. Not only is the finish absolutely world class, but it's the anticipation and read that got him in that spot that makes it even better. 1-0 Vegas, and what makes him special too is that he plays in all situations, including shorthanded. 5 minutes later, Marner's on the kill. It's a 2-on-2. Now, typically on 2-on-2s, you crisscross to force the defenders to switch assignments, but it's even more effective with Marner, knowing he's got a forward in Killorn playing D. So some east-west movement is going to draw Killorn out, and it buys time for Howden to take this sneaky route behind the defense, and the feed is perfect. Brett Howden, Wayne Gretzky in these playoffs. That is his 8th of the postseason, and that's a shorthanded goal as well. Then, right before the end of the period, it is time for the power play. Right off the face-off, Marner's going to go directly net front after Vegas wins it. So look at Lucas Dostal. He's got a peek left around Marner and his own D, who acts as a second screen instead of boxing out Marner, and he doesn't see this bad boy for a second. 3-0 Vegas at the end of the first, with Marner playing a huge part in all 3 goals. Now, Anaheim did get one on the power play themselves in the second, but Vegas just got it right back near the start of the third. This time, it's Dorofeev. It seems like it's the same 3 guys always scoring for Vegas right now. Between Marner, Howden, and Dorofeev, they're all chipping in. Vegas adds 1 more goal, and they beat the Ducks to take the series in 6. They're on to the conference finals to face the Colorado Avalanche, and the team that everyone loves to hate in the Golden Knights. This is their 5th time in the conference finals in a 9-year span since their inception. You might hate them, but they have built a culture of winning. Vegas in both series now have only gotten better as the series is worn on, and they are just humming under Torts. They're 15-4-1 since he took over, but now this is the real test against Colorado. The Pacific Division was coined a pillow fight by Connor McDavid, and he was pretty much right. But Vegas did take care of business when they had to, but the Avs are a different beast. Can Carter Hart be just as good as he was in these first 2 rounds, and can Marner sustain this pace? We're going to find out with the West being all set. But then we got Game 5 in Buffalo. The Sabres coming off a massive win, which saw them even up the series. The Sabres crowd is rocking. You got Jason Pominville hitting the drum like he's afraid to break it for some reason, but it doesn't matter because the Sabres get off to another hot start. Jason Zucker, right place, right time, off his skating in, 1-0 Buffalo. This first period was wild. 5 minutes later, Buffalo wants to break out. They want to hit this center slip pass, but the timing is just all off. Slavkovsky to Suzuki to Caulfield backdoor. How are ya? This game is tied up. Big 5-on-5 goal for the Habs top line as well. Buckle up, though, because a minute later, the Sabres start buzzing around in Montreal's end, and Josh Doan from range with the clapper is going to beat Dobish clean. That's one he's been stopping all day in this series in his sleep, but this one finds a way in. So Buffalo fans are back to being good. They're like, I'm going to go get another beer before the next play, and what do you know? Montreal, before you can even sit down and take a sip of that new beer, comes down 7 seconds later and puts one off of Alex Texier's skate. A little bit of Tex-Mex ties this up. We're back to crackhead hockey all of a sudden here because Buffalo comes right back and Helenius takes a shot from range that beats Dobish again, clean to the deck, 5-hole. Another reminder to close your damn legs, and you even see Coach Martin St. Louis look at his assistant coach and say, should we pull him? Are we pulling him? No. They leave him in, and St. Louis said after the game that he feels like the goalie position is one that he can't really help out with. He didn't want to make an emotional decision at the time, so their assistant coach radioed up to the goalie coach and said keep him in, and so they did. St. Louis trusts his staff to make the call as the Habs are down by 1 going into the second. Then Montreal starts to find their groove, and they do it with a set face-off play. We talked about it in the Wild and Avs series, how lost face-offs mean man-on-man coverage for the defending team. So this set face-off play is going to be the D down the wall play, with Tuck's assignment being Lane Hutson. Power is going to have Texier, and Timmins is going to have Anderson. So as this is snapped back, Texier is going to swing right up to the point, which is going to cause Power to follow him up there just until around the tops of the circles. While that's happening, look at Anderson run this little pick and roll play on Tuck, who's supposed to get out to Hudson. Just a little, excuse me, oops, sorry, didn't mean to get in your way. That little pick buys Hudson time to drive down the wall. Now Timmins, who initially had Anderson, is caught in no man's land here, and with Power being behind the play because he followed Texier up high, now you have this mini 2v1 amongst the chaos. Timmins does end up taking his man in Anderson, but the pass and finish is perfect. Remember, easy to break this down in slow motion, but all of this is unraveling within seconds. If you can't think the game, you can't play it. Montreal ties this up. Then, late in the second, they really put this out of reach. Demidov, who's been dancing all game, he looked lethal. Little pump fake into a shot is going to squeak through UPL, and Jake Evans cleans up the mess. Ugly one to let in. It gives Montreal the lead, and then their power play does the rest. Slavkovsky, one-handed dish to Suzuki from the same area. It gives Luukkonen trouble, and it finds a way in. That's one he's going to want back as well. Sabres, after being up by 1 going into the second, are now down by 2 going into the third. UPL same-day delivery gets yanked, and Montreal's power play gets the dagger in the third. Ivan Demidov, first of the playoffs, was really about time because of how well he's been playing, makes this 6-3, and more importantly, Dobish was incredible after he settled in. What a call by the coaching staff to let him battle through it and not feed into the chaos by pulling him. He ended up stopping 32 straight shots after that last goal to close out the game, and you can tell he's kind of getting in Buffalo's head a bit. Dahlin gave him a snow shower at the end of the game. Guys are barking at him, but the Habs take Game 5 on the road and now have the opportunity to close this bad boy at home in 6. And for this game, of course, the city of Montreal is electric. Everyone is ready to go, but the starts have been no bueno for the Habs. That's 4 games in a row now. 32 seconds into the game, Rasmus Dahlin catches Juraj Slavkovsky proposing to thin air. He goes sliding into next week on one knee. A little bit of friendly fire, and it finds a way into the net. The captain, Rasmus Dahlin, sets the tone and gets the Sabres on the board first. Not even a minute later, Arbor Jacki off a face-off win zips this one by and beats Alex Lyon, the Lion King. This just goes right by the glove like it's his first time playing catch with the old man. That's one he wants back. Are we getting crackhead hockey again? Yep, it looks like we are. Montreal's power play, they can dice you up any way they want. Last game, they carved up the Sabres with the bumper spot. Remember that Suzuki goal that squeaked through the cracks of UPL? Yeah, Sabres tighten that up. They say, we're keeping that diamond very tight, but that opens up the perimeter for Montreal to zip it around. Caulfield to Hudson to Demidov. The demigod goes upper deck, 2-1 Montreal on just their second shot of the game. halfway through the first now. Buffalo is on the power play. Montreal wins a battle on the wall. It's a 2-on-1. Jake Evans says, I'm going to take this one and show you what I got. Low blocker. Lion gets a piece, but not enough. That is 3 goals on 3 shots. Hit the showers, pal. In comes UPL, same-day delivery. The Bell Center can taste it. They're chasing the goalie. The crowd is buzzing. Buffalo is going to get another crack at the power play. And this time, though, they're going to get a little lady luck that comes for the Sabres again. Backdoor feed, and Josh Anderson puts this one in his own cage. Tough bounce. Sabres are down 3-2 at the end of the first. But this game, like Game 5, is just flipped in the Sabres' favor. They find their game, which is all about motion in the O-zone. This play is going to start with 2 forwards at the blue line and 2D deep in the zone. Habs, they play man-on-man when the puck is high, so this interchange buys Byram time to walk in, and it's going to squeeze through the legs of Dobish and find its way to Benson, who ties the game 1 minute into the second. Holy. Here we go. Then, special teams starts coming alive for the Sabres once more. Lindy Ruff must have flipped a damn table in the intermission after that shorty went in, because the boys realized they need to get one. Jack Quinn takes a page out of the Habs book here. That diamond has the slot locked down, but watch Quinn. He just backs up outside of the coverage, and really, there's not much the Killers can do here. Ideally, if you're getting a shot from this range with no screen, your Tendy makes the save, but he doesn't. This one is blown by Dobish, and Sabres take the lead, and they follow it up 2 minutes later. Stretch pass turns into a 2-on-1. Zucker to Hellenis. The wheels are just completely falling off in Montreal. It's now 5-3. Buffalo has pulled the Uno reverse card from Game 5, and after coming into the second down by 1, they go into the third up by 2. Now, in Game 5, it seemed like Dobish was getting in the heads of the Sabres. But my, have the turntables. Dahlin gives him a cross check, and Dobish just says, screw it. Busts out the lumberjack and takes a big chop at Dahlin's legs. They got him in this one, and it doesn't get any better. Third period, another power play for Buffalo, and we get a Jack Quinn piss missile from a sharp angle. The kid can shoot it. This one is officially out of reach, and that is the end of the night for Dobish. He gets the yank, and it's one of those rare games where both tendies get pulled. Buffalo ends up adding 2 more and puts up an 8-goal performance to force a Game 7. That's a touchdown with a 2-point conversion. What a gutsy performance from the Buffalo Sabres. They come into the Dragons' Den on the road and force a Game 7. UPL stopped 18 straight shots coming in relief, and now it goes to a winner take all. Also, shout out Rasmus Dahlin, the captain, for becoming the first defenseman in NHL history to get 5 points while facing elimination. The true winner of all this, though, is the Carolina Hurricanes. These guys haven't played a hockey game since Nam. By the time they do play, they would have had 12 days off when the conference finals get going, and who they get will be decided on Monday in a Game 7 between the Sabres and Canadiens. So, what did you think of the games? Also, a side note that we forgot to mention, the league and Gary decided to fine Torts $100K and a second-round pick after he didn't participate in the media scrum after the Game 6 win. Gary hit the Golden Knights hard. A second-round pick is crazy. These playoffs are crazy. Game 7 will likely get its own video on the channel as we're covering every single game of this postseason. So make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications for the channel so that you don't miss a single thing in the NHL. And also, if you like audio and just audio, we're on Spotify now, so check that out in the description down below.